Vikings, let's win this game.
Purple and gold faithful, the heat is on in Eagan, and today, things just got real. A surprising twist might shake up our entire offensive setup. One playmaker could be left off the final roster, while another is raising red flags right when we need him most. And that's not even the craziest part. A heated scuffle on the field revealed an unexpected new leader, and a long-forgotten defensive piece has suddenly become the center of attention. You're not going to want to miss a single detail. Welcome. Show your Viking support by reaching 100 thumbs up on today's video. Feel that in the air? That's tension. Because a guy who arrived with a lot of hype might be running out of time in Minnesota. Rondale Moore, the speedster many fans thought would be an X-factor in our wide receiver rotation, is right now dangerously close to being cut. That's right, the battle for the 5th or 6th wide receiver slot is absolutely wild, and Moore, who signed a modest $2 million deal, might not survive the final roster cut. And it's not like he's been bad in camp. He's flashed speed and that trademark lateral quickness, even after last year's nasty knee injury. But time's ticking. Preseason kicks off in just a couple of days, and guess what? Two of the top Vikings insiders, Alec Lewis and Ben Gosling, left Moore off their projected final rosters. That's no small thing. Now here comes a name you probably didn't see coming into this fight, Lucky Jackson. This dude has exploded at training camp. He jumped from wide receiver number 7 to wide receiver number 4 in just a few days. Yup, number 4, ahead of Moore. Here's the kicker. Jackson has never played a regular season NFL snap. He's 28 years old and hungry to prove himself. He's been lighting it up with deep balls, crisp routes, sure hands. Fans who've attended camp are walking away saying, that guy has to stay. And get this. The first unofficial depth chart is out, and Rondale Moore is sitting at wide receiver number 5 or 6, right on the edge, right at the cutoff, 1 foot out the door. But there's still one wild card that might save Moore, punt returner. With Brandon Powell no longer on the team, that role is wide open, and guess who's listed as the top option? You got it, Rondale Moore. Our analyst Kyle Judry even said Moore could be a game changer on special teams thanks to his blazing speed. 4.28 in the 40-yard dash. His punt return average isn't elite yet, but the upside, it's all there. That might just be his lifeline. The team's got 19 days to decide. The pressure's mounting. Moore could be out, or he might be the clutch piece we never knew we needed. Fans are split. Some say be patient. Others are calling for fresh blood. Just when we thought we could breathe a little, here comes the gut punch update no Vikings fan wanted to hear. Justin Jefferson, our superstar, tweaked something again. And this wasn't just a scare. We're talking about the same area that kept him sidelined for 7 games back in 2023. That dreaded hamstring. It happened during a late July practice. Jefferson was going through his usual drills when suddenly he walked off the field with tightness in both legs. Immediate concern. The staff acted fast and ordered an MRI. Then, silence. Fans held their breath for hours. The good news. No structural damage, nothing serious. But yeah, the red flags are up. Head coach Kevin O'Connell tried to calm nerves, saying, no concern for week 1. We'll have Justin ready to go. Big words. But can we trust them? Here's the thing. Jefferson still hasn't returned to full team practice. He's working on the side with trainers, doing that cautious ramp-up routine. Looks innocent, right? But for a fan base that remembers last year all too well, it's far from reassuring. Especially now with Jordan Addison suspended for the first 3 weeks, imagining this offense without JJ is terrifying. Even so, there's a bright spot. Jefferson and rookie quarterback JJ McCarthy are already building chemistry. O'Connell himself said, those guys have real connection. And honestly, that could be huge for our season, if and only if Justin's body holds up. But the concern is legit. Same injury, same discomfort, same doubts. We all know how tricky soft tissue stuff can be. Rush it, and you risk losing the guy for even longer. And with the wide receiver depth still shaky, losing Jefferson for any stretch would be brutal. On social media, fans are torn. Some are saying, skip preseason, he's Justin Jefferson. Others are more cautious. Better to miss week 1 than miss half the season. Jefferson finally spoke out, I'm taking care of myself. I want to be 100% when the season starts. And he knows what's on his shoulders. The pressure is enormous. Preseason is almost here. The clock's ticking, and it all comes down to how his body responds. And while we wait, one question keeps buzzing louder and louder. Something's different this year. And no, it's not just the heat or the fierce roster battles, it's attitude, it's fire. And the one who lit the spark? None other than rookie JJ McCarthy. That's right, our new quarterback the kid fans were cautiously optimistic about just showed he's got way more than a strong arm. He's got guts, he's got leadership. Picture this. During an intense practice, Aaron Jones takes a heavy hit from linebacker Tyler Batty. Then boom, another from Brian Asamoah. No one moved until J.J. McCarthy stormed in, got between them, and stared Batty down. The kid didn't hesitate. He stood up for his teammate like a 10-year vet. When asked about the scuffle, McCarthy said something that shut a lot of critics up. "Those are my brothers. If someone messes with them, they mess with me. I used to be an enforcer in hockey. That's in my blood." Yeah, he said enforcer. The guy who throws hands. The protector. That's not your average quarterback talk. And it doesn't stop there. McCarthy's been under a microscope all camp. And what are we seeing? Ups and downs. Totally expected for a rookie facing Brian Flores' elite defense. But even with no Justin Jefferson, no TJ Hawkinson, and a patchwork O-line, the guy's holding his own. He makes mistakes? Sure. But he learns. He adapts. And most importantly, he's earning the locker room. Veterans like Christian Darrisaw and Ryan Kelly have said it themselves. This kid's different. Now, this Saturday against the Houston Texans, he finally hits the field. First snap since last year's preseason game when he tore his meniscus. The hype? Off the charts. Fans want to see if the guy who leads off the field can deliver when the lights come on. It might be just preseason, but for McCarthy, this is the start of his era. While fans were hoping for flashy signings to boost the secondary, big names, big money, the Minnesota Vikings went in a different direction. They bet on a guy most people had written off, Jeff Okudah. And guess what? The hype around him is skyrocketing. This isn't smoke. This is real. Reporters, coaches, even teammates are saying he could be the key to unlocking a dominant defense in 2025. Let's rewind. Okudah was the third overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. Came out of Ohio State as one of the most hyped corners in years. And then, injuries, inconsistent play, team changes. He bounced from Detroit to Atlanta to Houston. Never found his rhythm. At one point, he nearly walked away from football after multiple injuries. Ankle, hip, concussion. But now, something's different in Minnesota. The reason? Brian Flores. The Vikings defensive coordinator is known for getting the best out of forgotten talent. And with Okudah, he's all in. The number 1 jersey has been running with the starters since camp opened. Officially listed as cornerback number 3, but insiders know he's playing like cornerback number 1. Even Justin Jefferson, who's gone toe-to-toe with Okudah in practice, said he's fast, physical, one of those annoying corners who throws off your rhythm. That's a compliment, by the way. Reactions are pouring in. Thor Nystrom tweeted, "Flores is going to revitalize Okudah's career. Book it." The Purple Persuasion account said if Okudah keeps this up, he'll be a cornerstone of a top-tier defense, giving the pass rush more time, forcing turnovers, shaking up offenses. Alec Lewis from The Athletic dropped a full feature on Okudah's comeback story, highlighting how coaches are working on his mindset and mechanics every day. Flores was even spotted walking the field post-practice, going over technique, reads, positioning, the kind of attention you give to someone you believe in. Of course, it all has to translate on game day. So far, it's just camp. But the energy is different. Fans are starting to believe. The guy who was once labeled a bust could finally be the missing piece in this secondary puzzle. This Saturday, against the Texans at US Bank Stadium, Jeff Okudah might just begin writing the redemption chapter of his career. 4 stories, 4 emotions, and one word ties it all together: hope. Rondale Moore is fighting for survival in a brutally competitive roster. Justin Jefferson is racing the clock, but his light still shines bright. J.J. McCarthy proved that leadership can't be taught. You're either born with it or you're not. And Jeff Okudah, he might be the comeback nobody saw coming. Now it's your turn, Vikings fans. Who's going to surprise us this season? Who really deserves that roster spot? So let's keep that energy going. Share this video, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button for all the latest Vikings updates. Stay tuned. SKOL Vikings, let's go!